Alright, now let's talk about how to structure your response for the speaking number 2. What is the structure? So the structure is pretty much the same as for speaking number 1. We have an introduction, we have 2 or 3 arguments. It's better to have 2, but sometimes we might have 3 arguments. And for every argument, we should also include details and examples. And then we should finish our response with a conclusion. In terms of the cliches, everything is pretty much the same as in speaking number 1, except for the introduction. So you remember, the goal of the introduction is to do 2 things. First, rephrase the question, and second, give your opinion. So we need a very good sentence which does both these things, rephrases the question and gives your opinion. So the best sentence to do that is the following. Though some people believe that, and here, in this blank, you put the opposite opinion. And then you say, I believe that, and here, in this blank, you put your opinion. For example, though some people believe that friends who are similar to you are better, I believe that friends who are different from you are the best kind of friends. So in the first part, in the first blank, we put the opposite opinion, and in the next blank, in the second one, we put our opinion. And in this case, the introduction rephrases the question and also gives your opinion. And again, we only have 5 to 7 seconds to finish this sentence. If you see that it's 5 seconds, it's time to finish the sentence. Then we have the argument 1, which is completely the same as in speaking number 1. First, and then we state our first argument. And then we give a lot of details, different information, and we need to finish it by the 20th or the 23rd second. Then it comes the argument number 2, we say second, and in the blank we put our second argument, the argument about the activities. Then we add a lot of details and explanations, and we need to finish with all of that by the 40th second. And then we have the conclusion, which is again the same as in speaking number 1. To sum up, that is why I believe that, and here we repeat our opinion. And we only have 5 last seconds to say this sentence. So you see, the cliches are pretty much the same as in speaking number 1, except for the introduction. In the introduction, we need to say, though some people believe that, I believe that, blah, blah, blah. All right. So by the time our preparation time is over, we're over those 15 seconds, we have the following. We have our notes, different talk, do, or talk activities. So I chose different friends, so I decided to talk about them. So I have my notes. It's only 3 words which I wrote down. Then I also have my cliches because I memorized them, right? I learned them by heart while I was still at home before I went to my exam. So this is very well in my head. Though some people believe that, I believe that. First, second, to sum up, that's why I believe that. This is all in my head very well. Also, I have a question still in front of my eyes. What kind of friend is better? One who is very similar to you, one who is very different? Which kind of friend do you prefer and why? So I can still use this question if it helps me to answer. So these are 3 things that I have before I have to start my response. It's my notes, just 3 words that I managed to write down. It's the cliches which are in my head, and it's a question which is on the screen. Okay, so we have 3 sources where we take the information from, and then we have 45 seconds to say everything that we have all over those 3 sources into a very nice speaking response. So I'm going to try to do that. I'm going to do my best and try to give you a very good answer as an example. I'm not going to read a script or remember something by heart. It's not something that I prepared very well and learned, and then I'm just going to tell you. This is an improvisation. So I'm trying to be in the same situation as you are, in the same shoes. So I want to show you that it's possible to prepare during 15 seconds and then say everything during those 45 seconds. So I want to give you that very sincere answer, the one which I will probably have on the real exam. And you can see what is a good answer, what is a perfect answer from your teacher, right? How it should look like on the exam. All right, so I'm going to start now, and you're going to see how it goes. Though some people believe that having friends who are similar to you is better, I believe that having friends who are different from you is much better. First, with friends who are different from me, it's more interesting to talk. For example, they can always give me new perspectives on the ideas that we discuss, or just bring up some topics that we never talked about. So it's very interesting to talk to them. Second, with friends who are different from me, it's very interesting to do new things because they always have these new ideas that I never thought of, and they can just have these ideas of what we do in our free time. They can take me to a movie that I never even thought lot of watching, or they can just bring up some activities like horse riding or like going for sports that I never tried before. To sum up, that's why I think that having a friend who is different from you is much more interesting and better. Okay, so this is what your response should look like. You probably saw that it was entirely an improvisation. I just used these three sources: different talk to, the question, and the cliches that were in my head, and I was improvising. You also probably noticed that I was carefully looking at the watch. So every time I saw that there is another key second coming, then I just stopped talking about my details and examples, and I moved to the next topic. So you probably saw I had some little troubles with my second argument, and then it was already the 40th second, so I decided to stop talking about it and I moved to the conclusion. And it's all right, it's okay. I didn't have to continue. I didn't have to describe all the details, all the examples, because it's much more important to have everything logically. So to have an introduction and to have a conclusion and to have some arguments in between. The details and examples are the least important parts, but still it's very important to have them. But if there's something going on with them, they're less important than the next topic or the conclusion. So pay attention to the time, to the clock all the time. It's the key to success. Always know that if you see there's a second which is supposed to be changing your topic, go ahead and change the topic. So this is how an answer should look like. Of course, it had some minor mistakes, but it still should be considered to be the ideal answer and receive the highest score. So you can practice with the same topic, or in the next video, you can practice with a different topic. So we'll have a video there and you can practice for yourself. Thanks for watching.